Hey everyone, welcome to my living room. It is evening, Friday night. We're starting the Stranger Things. We're going to binge a few episodes. I don't want to do a really long episode here with you of Bible and Blues covering this because I'm binging it. So I wanted to do this quick little thing here, and that we watched the first episode. The first episode was pretty cool. We've got Will is the kid who disappeared last season. He is having visions still. He's having issues. His friend Michael, who was one of the main, he was the main character outside of Six. He is having behavioral issues. Things like that. Now we have a couple of new characters that pop up and that are in here. There's a young girl named Max who is doing, the guys are falling in love with, right? So typical middle school stuff. This is one of the reasons I love this show is because it is of the '80s, and I am a child of the '80s, and so I'm looking at the cars as my wife. Hi, and so we're so to me this is like the cars, the clothes, the talking, what they're talking about. It's all good memories for me. 1984, I was 14. So beyond that, we do see some cool things happening here. These visions that Will is having of the upside down world are really cool. The one of the new characters is a guy who is kind of a conspiracy theory guy, and he wasn't in the first season, but he's in the current one. And remember Barbara? Her parents are actually selling their house to be able to pay this guy to investigate and find their daughter. Now, most of us know that if you've been paying attention, Barbara's not going to come back. Okay, Barbara's gone. She's gone for good, unfortunately. But that's what they told us. So I'm not sure. Is my lighting doing something weird? I see a fade in, fade out thing going on my screen. I don't know. So other than that, I'm just kind of touching on it. We have a few new characters going on. Max is the young girl, the new girl in school. Her brother is involved somewhere somehow. I don't know how he's going to get involved. Yeah. So beyond that, Nancy is there. She's still dating Steven. Steven seems to have developed, an actual he cares about her thing. He's a senior. He's going to graduate. This is his last year of high school. That's kind of the gist of it. Will and Jonathan's mom are still, having issues. Oh, something really cool about Will is the fact that he is actually, when he has these episodes, when he has these visions, he's going to the very institute where all this started. And he gets invested. They check him out. They draw blood. They check him out, and they talk to him about what's going on. And they still have that portal to the upside down world going on. So don't know how that's going to work out. We'll start episode 2 now, and I'll touch in, and we're going to kind of link these together and make a little bit longer video for tonight. Get 2 or 3 in, and I'll get it all edited up. So anyway, I'll talk to you in a little bit. Okay, now I have the microphone on this thing, so it's going to sound a little bit better, hopefully. But if you don't want any spoilers, shut it off and go watch the show. Because you're going to get some spoilers now, because I'm on episode 2. Go on, count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, 11 is still alive, and she's out in the world. We found this out at the end of the first episode. Now, the second episode is very strongly about her story, doing flashbacks about how she survived, where she was at. She's wandering out in the woods, using her power to kill squirrels and live off of them and things like that. For some reason, and I'm assuming in the third episode we're going to find out why she's staying in a cabin with the police chief. Anyway, if you can hear the sound in the background. This one it really brought back memories from because there was a lot of, the kids were wearing Ghostbusters outfits, right in that time frame. I remember that episode. That was that show. That was awesome. So that was the costumes they were wearing, and that's it was Halloween, So they're wearing those costumes. It was a good time. It was a good show. So yeah, it was all about where she spent the past year essentially, and how she spent it, and so things like that. The Jonathan his brother Jonathan ends up going to a party, and his Will's sister Nancy is there. Not Will's sister, but Mike's sister Nancy is there, of course, and she gets drunk and she gets stung, and Jonathan has a chance to be the hero and and be the gentleman. So that happens for him. So it's just kind of that's how second episode, and it was actually pretty darn good. Will did have another episode of seeing the upside down world in a mirror image of the real world, and so that's still going on. One of the strange things that's happening is crops are failing all over the place, and crops are failing horrifically. So the pumpkin farmers are, here it is Halloween, and the pumpkin patch guys can't do a darn thing with it. I got to pause this because it's going to start another episode here in a minute. So we're going to do episode 3, and I'll get back with you. And so hang on just a minute. Okay, guys, so we just finished episode 3 as the Pollywog, and this is kind of interesting because if you remember at the end of the last season, the first season, Will is in the bathroom and he, basically throws up some sort of slug thing out of himself. It goes down the drain. Well, a year later, his friend Dustin essentially finds that thing in the garbage can. So this is the Pollywog. This thing's some sort of thing from the upside down world. We don't know whether it's friendly. We don't know whether it's not. But Dusty seems to kind of befriend it, and he gains his trust. Good for him. But then there's so then this Max is actually kind of becoming part of the group. Mike has nothing to do with it, doesn't like her and everything. He still misses Elle. So 11, as we get more story about 11, we find out the whole thing where the Chief Hopper was protecting her, so giving her a place to live and kind of acting as a surrogate father figure for her for a little bit, doing a terrible job of it. In the end, she's not supposed to leave the cabin at all, but she decides but she leaves anyway. She's pissed off and bored out of her freaking mind. And so, so these things are happening. And anyway, there seems to be like some sort of an agreement between the Chief and the Institute. Whereas the Institute keeps to itself, doesn't step out of his bounds, and the Chief keeps things quiet and clean for them to be able to do what they want to do, and makes it look like he gives them an air of legitimacy. So anyway, so that was episode 3. It's getting a little late here. I'm deciding I'm going to do another one, but hey, that's what it is. What's going on with that? And we're enjoying this, aren't we, Valerie?
Yeah.
Yeah. You like this? She likes it.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're enjoying it. We might do another episode, and then I can get this all edited up in the morning. So, all right. Talk to you later. Okay, so we decided to do episode 4, but the beginning of episode 4 reminded me of the end of episode 3, which is really, really important because Will had another episode where he went back to the upside down world. He saw that mirror image. He goes running, and he decides to stop and confront the giant shadow thing that's been chasing him, and thinking it's a good idea because his mom's boyfriend talked about, some time that he stopped and stared down his fears in a dream, and it made the dream go away. So, really bad idea. Now the thing's sucking into his body. Beginning of episode 4 picks up right there. He is standing in the middle of the field, and he is unresponsive but standing, and he is still receiving this shadow into himself in the other world. And so I'm going to keep watching. I'll catch up with you in a second. Okay, so this is the last one for tonight. It's 10:40. I'm getting tired. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what happened was Will got the shadow creature from the upside down world sucked into him, and now this episode was called Will the Wise, which he came back different. Okay, so the the creature likes a colder temperature than our body temperature, so it lowers Will's body temperature, and it convinces. And he talks to his mom. He's really upset with his mom, and she's bothered by everything. Of course, she's very very protective now, and so she lowers the temperature of the house. She opens up all the windows. Just bear in mind, this is like just after Halloween. So this is November in Indiana, so it's cold. Okay. As a matter of fact, right now in my hometown in Iowa, which I'm thousands of miles away from, it's actually snowed last night. So it gets really cold this time of year there. So, through the conversations, and she Joyce is just calling for Chief Hopper, and she's because she wants his help. She's her go-to, even though he's working with the Hawkins lab, the institute. So he's having problems of his own with 11, because 11 is essentially, she's acting like a 13-year-old girl, big drama and everything, except for she's a 13-year-old girl with powers. What else is happening? Nancy and Jonathan decide on a plan, and they kind of bait the Hawkins lab, because they make a phone call and they know everything's getting bugged. So they get into Hawkins lab by essentially baiting them. Oh, I want to stop that. Yeah, you're right, Valerie.
Yeah.
So there we go. Thank you. So so they get in there, and she records them using really a big thing that was in her purse. They didn't search her purse. Okay. And it sounds like their intention is that they're going to try to take this whole place down. They're going to go to the press or something, and I don't know, what's up with that. So that's kind of long and short of it. That's episode 4. Will the Wise. There's a problem there. He's got a thing inside of him. The pollywog. Real quick, the pollywog is actually going to grow into one of the bad monsters. The Demigorg is growing slowly, and it just ate Dusty's cat, his mom's cat. So that's not a good thing, is it? The thing that is killing all, Chief Hopper is finally figuring out what's killing all the crops in the area. Things are happening. Things are happening fast. So if you're watching this show, leave some comments down below. What do you think's happening? I'm up to episode 4. We'll probably finish this up. We might finish this up tomorrow night or somewhere in that area. We're binge watching it. I'm sure you are too. We got up to 4. How far are you going to get into it? I don't know. You tell me. I'm gonna spend tomorrow morning. I have a bunch of other stuff going on tomorrow too. But I'm gonna spend tomorrow morning, do a little bit of editing, get this thing out there for you. Thanks a lot, guys, and thanks for putting up with my shaky cam here, because I don't have a proper steady cam. Sorry. Nobody pays me to do this, so I don't have a budget for more camera stuff. Steady cams are not cheap. So, anyway, check it out. Check out the show. We're enjoying it. I'll talk to you later. God bless.